So my name is Roha, and I'm a 7th grader in Challenger. And I wanted to share some experience. So I don't know why, but my dad, he has this coding organization in which he helps some of the unfortunate kids in Pakistan to help them get into U.S. universities and get scholarships. So one of them is hired to teach me math, and I'm learning linear algebra. There's this big book which my teacher sent me, and we didn't start on it yet. My dad was like, just do some of the exercises, you'll get better. And I asked him, what if I don't understand anything? I was just expecting like a 1-minute sentence thing, maybe. No, he sent me a whole 3-paragraph essay saying, I'm a mathematician. I've been doing this for the last 25 years. You can just ask him. It's not hard. Do I need that information? I know I can ask you. It's just 3 words. Just ask me. Like that, and that, I didn't know what to say. So I just left it blank. And then he's like, why didn't you respond to my text? I'm like, what am I supposed to say? I don't know. And then that text is still there. I haven't responded to it or anything, and it's still blank. So that's funny. But then there's this other time. So my sister was talking about me wandering off, which sometimes happens. I do doze off and zone out. She talks about wandering off. No. So sometimes we go, like, my mom needs something. So we go to the shop or whatever. She's like, can I go look at something? And my mom's like, last time you did this and you got lost and we spent 20 minutes looking for you. You don't have your watch on. You never charge it. Because if we try to call her, her iPad isn't working. She's not near her iPad. Her FaceTime is not working. Her watch is dead, never on charging. How are we going to reach you then? How are we going to find you? So I always have to go with my sister. And then she spends 30 minutes looking at toys. And then she's like, I'm not buying anything. I didn't find the thing I wanted. I'm like, what did you want? She's like, I want LOL, OMG doll. I'm like, you spent 30 minutes. We did 10 rounds of this whole store and you don't know where it is. I don't know. She just dozes off in the middle of the store, and then it's like 30 minutes later, I don't want anything. It's fine. It's totally fine. And then I think we should all take a moment to see how grateful we are for living here in America, due to the fact that in Pakistan, it's almost 120 degrees every single day, and they sometimes don't even have AC. Like, I have a lot of friends whose parents went to Pakistan, and they don't even have the AC, and they would be drenched with sweat. Here it's just like 90 degrees. We're just like 3/4 of like what's happening over there in that big humidity. And I don't know why, but it's like all the humidity goes to those countries. Like, couldn't it be evenly spread, like, everywhere? Like,
we don't want it here.
It's already enough humid as it is. But they have, like, more humidity. Like, couldn't it go, like, to Antarctica or something? Like, please. Like, I saw this thing where these people, they jumped into 0 degrees freezing water. And they're like, oh, we just wanted to do it for fun. I'm like, why'd you jump in the water? And then they got sick after that. So, like, there was literally, like, no point in doing that. And then I think I saw this stereotype in which, so this kid is like to his mom, I got 100% on my math test. And then I'm like, okay, just scrolling on reels or shorts or whatever. And then he's like talking, and then he's like, I would have gotten 105% if I did the bonus problem, but I didn't because I couldn't understand it. Then the mom looks up and is like, I am so disappointed in you. That does not make sense. Like, I hear people, they're like asking me, so they think that since I'm a private school kid, I'm like a public school nerd or something. And then they're like, oh, what do you have in science? And I might feel like a random number, like 98 or something. And then they'll be like, oh, I have 118. I'm like, how'd you get that? They're like, oh, there was this big bonus project in which I had executed the program, I did all the research, I submitted it to the teacher, even though it wasn't even required, and then they boosted my grade up to 125. Well, why don't we get extra credit? Like, that's not fair. Like, I was so shocked, and I'm like, as a private school per kid, they don't do that, and even though it's my first year in private school, I've already gotten used to it. Like, they teach so differently. Like, say, U.S. history. We talk about how the Civil War and things. and how we should always work together in groups and group projects. No. That's not how Challenger teaches it. They're like, we want to focus on the individual, because if there's a group, the individual's rights get taken away, and then they won't be able to choose anything for themselves. Like, if you have a group project, you can split all the work. Like, say, we have a science fair project every year, in which is we have to conduct a science experiment, and then the person who has the most interesting wins a prize. There was this one guy in my class. He was probably like one of the smartest kids. His mom's like a chemistry teacher. His dad is an engineer. He was talking about the proxy maximum and the laser and how you're supposed to point it with a credit card chip. And half of the things I didn't understand in his speech, no one understood it. The teacher's like, okay. I don't think she barely understood him either. Like, this just doesn't make any sense. And although we have a lot of stereotypes with Pakistani and Indians, some of them might be accurate, some of them might be not. Like, I remember in Saudi Arabia, we were going for Umrah, and it was probably like 4 a.m. Fajr azan was going, like the whole city hears the azan, we all wake up to wuzu. And then there's this knock on on the door. My dad went for some to go do tawaf at like 3 a.m. in the morning, which because my mom told me, I didn't know. But I opened the door, and I thought it was my dad. I was gonna be like, okay, come in. And then, it's not my dad. It's the hotel receptionist at the doorstep saying, is this your bag? And there's a, like, Nike and, like, Adidas, like, shoes there or whatever. And I'm like, no, it's not ours. And I wasn't wearing my hijab or anything. And my parents are like, when you're older, you should wear the hijab because, like, it's like where God's home is. And then I close the door, and my mother is like, "Tum pagal ho gaya? You are supposed to wear the hijab at all times." Then she takes and I'm like, how? It was 4 a.m. I just woke up. I'm like sleep deprived at this moment. She takes the chappal and then throws it at me. like, you are so pagal, you're gonna get reported to the police. I'm like, oh, I didn't know, and I got scared for the rest of my life. 3 hours later, she's like, Roha, you know how you didn't wear the hijab in the morning? I'm like, yeah. She's like, it was all a joke. I'm like, you scared the heck out of me by saying I will get arrested. There's a chance I will get arrested, and you're telling me now it's just a joke? I didn't talk to her the rest of the day. I just couldn't. I couldn't deal with the fact that I was scared, and then I get told it's a joke. It just doesn't make sense. And I think we were at Masjid al-Nabawi or something, and we were just sitting down waiting for the namaz to happen. It was like super crowded. All these Arab ladies were like talking and saying their conversation. And then there's an elderly lady sitting next to us. And in the hijab, sometimes it doesn't get like all the hair. So there'll be a pluck of hair out, and the lady would be like, there's hair showing from your hijab. And then my mom was like, oh, okay. When we get home, she's all like, it's just one strand of hair. It's not like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish me or something for having one strand, a tiny strand of hair out, which is very invisible to see. And he will notice it automatically and then punish me. Like, that's not how it works. And then it was so crowded to the point where people were squishing each other for dear God's sake. And then I got separated from my mom and my sister. And the ladies were like, it's all fine, it's all fine. And then like they were just like looking at me, speaking in Arabic or something, and I have no clue what they were saying. And they're like, move, like move. And I'm like, and then I said no. And then they start squishing me. I'm like, this is not fair. Like, I know you want to pray at Masjid al-Nabawi. Like, it's a good masjid. It's like a very sacred masjid. But like, you can't just start shoving people. Like, I don't feel like that should be allowed, honestly, because it's not, like, I don't feel like it's reasonable to just start pushing people. But,
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.